Alright, so this has to start off with a little bit of a mea culpa. So, this should be Clone Wars Episode 35, You Can Hear the Cry of the Planet. But it's not, kind of. I recorded the audio, I edited the audio, did all the work, and then I forgot to export it properly, and I got distracted by something else, and I closed the file. It's gone now. I've double-checked all the stuff, it just didn't back up anywhere, and because I didn't save it in any form. It's my bad. I'm Omega. That's a super mea culpa for me. So, to kind of keep continuity with the audience and keep everybody going, and give the players a chance to recap the events, because, there's times when a whole week will go by, or more, and we're trying to, remember all the stuff. I decided to shoot a really super quick recap video. Well, audio that will have a video element, because it will go on YouTube as well. But we're going to do a little recap, which kind of talks about what was in Session 35. And by we, I mean me. Because I'm just doing this really quick on an afternoon while I'm working on other stuff. Because I have a lot of work. So, in the beginning of 35, which we decided to call You Can Hear the Cry of the Planet, after the Final Fantasy VII song, you'll see why later. First things, for about an hour, we had to deal with the leftover Trandoshans. So the party corralled up all the unconscious ones and tied them up so they couldn't go anywhere. After a little bit of discussion about how much tying they needed, Kavis healed Radamus, who was very badly injured, and so some work had to be done to make him conscious so he could be negotiated with. And then Aramaa talked to him, and they had a little bit of back and forth. She kind of had an offer to let his people, his kin, go off planet and walk, but he would still have to be imprisoned, which is a big deal for the Trandoshans, because they have this culture of their Jagnath points with the scorekeeper. So the bigger game you hunt, the bigger points you get, but if you are disgraced or captured during a hunt, yourself, if you are hunted, basically, you lose all your points. So Radamus, who is a little bit old for a Trandoshan, has lost all his points just now, and so he's a little sassy. So he's not super keen on the idea of going to prison, letting Aramaa just kill him now would possibly have ramifications for her, but it would be just the same for him if he dies in prison. So there's a little bit of back and forth. Radamus isn't a super great negotiator, so he lets slip some of his details, and Camo suggests that they kind of offer to flip the assets. They'll take them as mercenaries and send them somewhere else so they can fight the Separatists and kind of work off their debt to society. And Aramaa rolled really great on the negotiation check to set this up, and Radamus was kind of debating how to take this, how to acquiesce, when one of the Trandoshans, who was actually a female named SWRPG, spelled really weird, I love it, kind of piped up and actually turned out to be Radamus's granddaughter, and said they should take the deal, and kind of got the other generic Trandoshans on the squad to kind of go along with it. So Radamus was able to gently acquiesce, signed a contract, and moved on. This was after the party also had searched the entire camp. They had, maybe stocked up on some food and water, checked out some spare ammo, and checked out Radamus's place where they'd found maps pointing out underground ruins with some samples that could be some archaeological stuff, some ledgers about payments from the Separatists, and also a couple of lockboxes, one filled with 25,000. Gotta know how to say it right. 25,000 worth of credits, which was a Separatist box, and then later they appraised a box full of raw gemstones that, if sold and processed, could be worth as much as 30,000 credits, along with some grisly trophies that kind of maybe made them not like Radamus so much. Anyway, after that negotiation, they decided to spend the night so that the other Trandoshans could return from the field and kind of get together, and that they could have them carted off by some gunships that had to come from far away. Because remember, they drove the mobile base over here, the Juggernaut, which Aramaa, by the way, wants to clarify that she is calling Sierra Mobile. So let's go ahead and throw that detail into the recap, so we don't forget. But they carted them off, but SWRPG pointed out to Aramaa that she had saved not only her life, but her grandfather's life, and felt owed her a great deal for offering and accepting the deal. So she offered Aramaa a life debt to go hunt with her, and they accepted, and they got a cool Trandoshan companion. Yay. After that, they spent the night, like I said. They left the laborers up top and took some of their minor equipment and went down the map. They went down a really cool lava tube slide chute thing, which they all managed to progress themselves pretty quickly, and found themselves underground, and eventually came to a vast, wide open underground area that at its center appeared to contain a myriad of gardener structures, resembling almost a city. However, after a little bit of exploring, they found this city completely devoid of life signs. Not even their weird statue automatons were functioning. Some of the buildings were perfectly preserved, but others had been destroyed by environmental damage. They called upstairs to let the science nerds know that they'd found this, sent some pictures back and work on it, and moved on towards a mysterious spirally center structure in the middle of this area. You know, the quote-unquote Black Garden. On the outside, they found some ruined statues and discovered that gardeners have 6 fingers, and also found some more murals, which they kind of interpreted to get a better look at how the gardeners got to be here. They came from other worlds. They come to grow and make the worlds blossom and do something. And then they went inside. Inside, they found some structures similar to the Ubeshu site they'd seen before, but a little bit different. But at their heart, they found a vast networks of pipes and tubing filled with an unusual iridescent blackish goo, and the lighting tone was a little bit different. So they progressed even so far as to hit the heart of the facility, at which point they were attacked by a very robust and unusual guardian entity, another automaton, called He Who Roars Like the Thunder, and they had a super cool boss fight in the heart of the place. It was really neat. The guardian angel automaton had some interesting mechanics, where it was, resistant to energy damage. It was able to have these kind of auto-turret wings, attack people that it wasn't engaged with, and everybody did their darndest to try and get in there and do some work, do some decent hits. But ultimately, Aramaa lands the killing blow with a powerful punch right through the center of its torso, right in its fuck-me light. And actually, as she pulls her arm out of it, she recovers a crystalline substance at the heart of this thing, which is the equivalent of a lightsaber crystal of a particular type, of a very electrical type. After this, the heart of the facility, this round orb-like thing they'd seen in other gardener locations, collapses and just starts dumping its goo everywhere, melting away. The lighting goes back up, the alarm ends, and they actually notice a console in the back of the room light up and start giving them reports. They discover some stuff about gardener culture and grammar that is cool and sci-fi and stuff, but not important to the recap. What is important is that Aramaa touches the console and is contacted in her brain by a mysterious voice, some kind of distant, accented alien voice, which told her that it had lots of information, but it couldn't relay it because the console they're using in the Black Garden isn't suited for large-scale information transfer. But they have cleared up some kind of blockage in the Gardener's planetary network. Apparently they had some kind of subterranean communication network or computer network going on there, right? So destroying the enemy and removing the blockage of the Black Garden has opened that up, and now there's a connection. And before the connection goes out to this terminal, the terminal voice says that they should seek the Polar Vault way in the north, and gives them some rough coordinates to go on their next archaeology adventure. After which they kind of police up and get out of there, and they talk some science, and they do some science stuff. And they pay off some people, and they go about their business. And then after all that, at the very end, the team decided on what they were going to do next. So I offered them 5 plot hooks. They could do a bottle episode, which would be mostly back at base and involve lots of little vignettes and things and kind of stuff going on. Maybe type some other hanging plot threads. 2, obviously there was the Polar Vault exploration that could be done. I offered them an opportunity for a plot hook just called New Crime in Town. Kind of playing up with the fact that they've been dismantling a lot of organized crime on Sohaliv and leaving some power vacuums that maybe some people are going to try and fill and what they want to do about that. I talked about, since they did flip Radimus and had some other stuff going, I talked about a separatist operation in a coastal region where this mission would be called Fire Canyon. And then lastly, the one they picked was an opportunity to go off planet because in some nearby space lanes, they'd picked up some Republic-coded distress signals that were in their area and decided to go investigate. So that was the plot hook they picked. So when they get back to base for next session, they will go ahead and do all this. And obviously, the session was like 3 hours, or even 3.5 hours raw, so this is only like 10 minutes. So we're missing some stuff. There's a lot of bants, a lot of fun, a lot of dice rolling, a lot of yelling at dice. So sorry once again that didn't get recorded, but that last bit is basically the cliff notes of the plot. They talked to some Trandoshans, they went in a cave, they found some spooky ruins, they fought a spooky alien ghost robot, they learned some stuff, and they got some tchotchkes. And next time, don't know what it'll be called, but next time we'll go ahead and move on into the distress signal arc, however that'll be. All right, thanks so much for listening, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. Again, sorry about the audio loss. I assure you it doesn't happen often. Okay, bye, everybody.